Your daughter's graduation party? We're not coming. We have a charity luncheon with important friends, Mom texted. She didn't even call.
Hi.
I'm Naomi Rivers, 34, widowed, full-time mom, and apparently disposable. My daughter, Emery, had just turned 6. Her kindergarten graduation wasn't Harvard, but it was the first thing she'd done without her mom. My wife passed away 9 months ago. Emery still asks if the sky gets cold where she sleeps now. This party? It wasn't just streamers and pizza. It was healing. It was light after months of grief. And my parents, Emery's only grandparents, knew that. I'd planned for weeks. Tiny cupcakes, bubble machine, a paper crown with her name in gold glitter. She asked me every single day, "Is Grandma coming?" I said yes, because I believed she would. But the morning of the party, Mom texted. No apology. Just that line, "We have a charity luncheon with important friends." Like my daughter's smile was less valuable than shrimp cocktails and photo ops. They posted pictures that afternoon. Laughter, fancy hats, cheek kisses. Meanwhile, Emery stood by the window for 2 hours, still holding the card she made for Grandma. That night, after I tucked her into bed, I printed one photo from the party, the one where she looked up at the door, eyes hopeful, then dim. I framed it, and I texted them. Last time you break her heart. They left it on read, until Christmas morning when they showed up unannounced. They rang the doorbell like they hadn't missed a single thing. My mom stood on the porch in a red wool coat, holding a shiny gift bag. Dad was behind her, shifting from foot to foot like he was the one who'd been wronged. "Surprise," she said with a forced smile. "We thought we'd bring Christmas to Emery." I didn't smile back. Emery peeked from behind my legs, her voice small. "You came?" Mom bent down, arms open. "Of course we did, sweetheart." Emery looked at me, confused. I said nothing, because I knew what was in that bag. Guilt, wrapped in glittery paper. A bribe for the photo they couldn't unsee. The one I sent them, frozen forever, her disappointment framed like a mirror they couldn't look away from. "You should come in," I finally said. "It's cold."
They did.
And for a few minutes, we played pretend. They handed her the gift, some overpriced doll set. Emery hugged it, but not them. She sat on the floor, unwrapping slowly, like she wasn't sure it was real. Then, as my mom leaned in to help, Emery asked softly, "Are you gonna leave again before cake?" My mother froze. Dad cleared his throat. "Of course not. We're staying all day." But Emery was already looking away, brushing the doll's hair with fingers too careful for 6. She didn't believe them, and neither did I, because the thing about kids, they remember exactly who showed up
And who didn't?
Lunch was quiet. I made grilled cheese, tomato soup, Emery's favorite. She ate in her reindeer pajamas, humming to herself. My parents sat across from her like guests in someone else's house. "Do you still have the nativity set?" Mom asked like nothing had happened. I brought the little angel for Emery to place. I looked up. "You mean the one she waited to set up last year while you skipped town for a cruise?" Silence. Emery stared at her soup. I wasn't going to sugarcoat anymore. Mom sighed. "Naomi, we're trying." I nodded. "You had a chance to try. When she graduated. When she stood there holding a card for you." My father finally spoke. "We made a mistake, but we're here now." Emery looked at them. "You said Grandma was busy with friends," she said quietly. Was I not important? I felt something crack open in my chest. Mom reached across the table, voice trembling. "Oh, baby, you're so important. Grandma's just sometimes bad at remembering the right things." Emery nodded slowly. "Okay." But I knew that, okay. It wasn't forgiveness. It was a 6-year-old learning how to build walls. After lunch, Emery curled up with her doll on the couch. My parents lingered, waiting for some magical moment to prove they were welcome again. Instead, I handed them a tin of cookies. "You're free to go," I said softly. And they did. No protests. No second chances. Just quiet footsteps on fresh December snow. They didn't text that night. Or the next. And for once, I didn't sit up waiting for an apology that was never coming. Emery asked, "Are they mad at me?" while brushing her teeth. I knelt beside her, gently wiping toothpaste from her chin. "No, baby," I said. "They're just figuring things out." She nodded slowly, but I could see it, how carefully she held that answer, as if too many questions might make me break too. The truth? I wasn't angry. I was done. I'd spent years cushioning my parents from consequences, making excuses, filling in the silence with effort they never returned. But motherhood changed that. Losing my wife changed that. Emery only gets one childhood. I won't let it be a highlight reel of disappointment. A week later, a card came in the mail. Front, merry and bright. Inside, my mother's handwriting. "We're sorry for everything. We love her. We love you. We'll do better. Please don't shut us out." It wasn't enough, but it wasn't nothing. I didn't respond. Instead, I taped the card inside a shoebox where I keep pieces of honesty, good and bad. The ultrasound photo. A birthday letter my wife once wrote. A crumpled drawing from Emery's first day of preschool that just says, "Mommy, come back soon." I tucked the card next to it. Not forgiven. Not forgotten. Just filed. Because some things deserve to be remembered, even if they don't deserve to be returned. January came fast. Emery started first grade with her backpack too big and her heart too soft. She asked less about my parents. The questions faded into the background, like snow melting off boots left by the door. One night, as we were building a pillow fort, she looked up and asked, "Do people get better if you give them enough time?" I paused. "Sometimes," I said, "but sometimes they get better when you stop giving them chances." She nodded like she understood. And maybe in her way, she did. The next weekend, my parents sent a package. No note, just a small photo album. The cover said Grandma and Grandpa's Memories. Inside were photos of Emery, all taken by me, all stolen from my social media, each captioned with clumsy love. Our girl at the beach. Proud of our little graduate. They were trying, in their distant, curated way. But love isn't retroactive. You can't write yourself back into someone's childhood with Sharpie and tape. Still, Emery flipped through the album. Her brows furrowed. "They weren't there for these," she said. "No," I replied. "They weren't." She shut the book gently and slid it under the couch cushion. "Maybe they can try again when I'm bigger," she whispered. That night, after she fell asleep, I pulled out the album. On the last page, they'd left it blank. No photo, no caption. Just a sticky note that read, "We're hoping to earn our way back to this one." I stared at that sticky note for a long time, not because it moved me, but because it felt unfamiliar. My parents don't leave blank pages. They rewrite, reframe, reword. But this was silence. Willingness to wait. A sentence with no expectation, just hope. I didn't show Emery. I tucked the album away. Weeks passed. Valentines came and went. Emery brought home glittered cards from classmates. One had a crayon drawing of us, me with a cape, her with a crown. She said I'm lucky to have a mom who shows up, Emery told me. I smiled and kissed the top of her head. That night, I found myself scrolling through old texts from my mother. Some sharp, some sweet, most soaked in superiority. I used to reread them for clues. What did I do wrong? When did the distance start? But now I saw it differently. It hadn't started with Emery. It had started with me. I was always the daughter who didn't fit their script. Too outspoken, too emotional, too married to a woman. And when Emery came into the picture, they saw a second chance. One they blew the exact same way. But that blank page, it stayed in my mind. So I did something unexpected. I printed out a photo. Emery last week, sitting on the stoop in the morning sun, smiling with her gap-toothed grin, holding a daisy. On the back, I wrote one line. You don't get to rewrite the past. But here's your shot at the next page. They didn't reply to the photo. But 2 days later, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. Naomi, a voice said, "This is Henry, your father's friend from Rotary. He asked me to call." I stepped into the hallway, heart sinking. He wanted me to tell you he read what you wrote on that photo. And he cried. First time I've seen him cry since his brother died.
I didn't know what to say.
I wasn't trying to break him. I was trying to show them what was already broken. He's not asking for anything, Henry continued. Just said to tell you. Thank you for giving us one more chance to do the right thing. That's all. The call ended. That weekend, a letter arrived. Thick paper. Ink I recognized from birthday cards growing up. No long paragraphs, no guilt, no spin. Just this. We won't show up unless we're invited. We won't expect forgiveness, but we'll earn trust if you let us. And if Emery ever asks, tell her we never stopped loving her. We just forgot how to show it. For the first time, I didn't cry after reading something they wrote. I just folded the letter, slipped it into the shoebox with the others, and exhaled. It wasn't perfect, but it was honest. And sometimes that's where healing begins, not with repair, but with people finally stopping the performance and stepping into the truth unannounced. Easter came with soft light through the windows, tulips on the table, and Emery in a yellow dress that used to belong to her other mom. We dyed eggs, baked a crooked carrot cake. She asked once casually if Grandma and Grandpa would be coming. I smiled gently. Not this time, but maybe one day, if they keep trying. She nodded like that made perfect sense.
Because kids know.
They always know. That afternoon, we took a walk through the park. Emery ran ahead, chasing bubbles blown by a stranger's kid. I sat on a bench, watching her laugh so freely it made my throat ache. A woman sat beside me. Gray hair, soft scarf, eyes kind. She's got your spirit, she said, nodding toward Emery. She's got her mother's light, I whispered. We sat in silence for a while. Then I said, maybe to her, maybe to the wind. They broke her heart once. She nodded slowly. And now you're showing her how to rebuild it. That night, I took out the album again. Flipped past the fake memories, past the blank page. I slid the photo I'd sent them into that empty slot. Emery on the stoop, smiling with her daisy. And next to it, I placed their letter. 2 truths side by side. Proof that growth doesn't always come wrapped in apologies or perfection. Sometimes it arrives slow, handwritten late, but real. And when Emery asked again that night if they might come next time, I said, honestly, we'll see.